right. And we are live. Hi, baby girl.
Hey, sister.
How are you? You look beautiful.
Thank you. So do you, as usual.
How are you doing? How's your day going so far?
Good. It's a sunny day in Florida. We're going to have a long, hot summer. So I got the pool going here and some puppies running around, and we're just kind of chilling in the afternoon here.
Lovely. So this is Sabrina, everybody, for everybody out there that's tuning in. Sabrina, tell everybody that's listening a little bit about yourself, and maybe how we've met. And today, actually, we're going to be talking about Sabrina's near-death experience that she's had. So I'm going to let you take the floor.
Okay. Well, I was raised in the deep south of the U.S., so I have a funny accent. And I was in the military for a while, so I bounced around after that. I ended up in Central Florida about 30 years ago. And it's been a little wild ride. It's been a roller coaster. And it all culminated in me meeting Rena in my class, my introspective hypnosis class in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we were just sisters from then on.
Absolutely. And during our meet in North Carolina, I mean, first of all, Sabrina's just a vision. I mean, she walks around, she's so tall, she's beautiful. You just look at her and you just want to just keep looking at her. And just, she's got this bigger than life personality. And I was like, I need to connect with her. I do. I need to connect with her. And we did. And we did, and you shared something that was personal, and that was your near-death experience. And so for everybody out there, it's also known as an NDE. What is a near-death experience?
Well, bottom line, it's when you die and you go to the other side. They go to the other side of the veil, and so then you come back, and when you come back, you're just touched. You're different, So that happened to me when I was a small child. I was 8 years old. So
yeah. So tell the viewers, if you can, and parts that you're comfortable sharing, just the gist of your NDE. I don't know if you can do just a gist, but so 8 years old. So what happened to you?
It was fantastical. I tell people that's a 3-beer story. Because you have to be relaxed and in the mood and in the mindset, But I was 8 years old, and it had been rainy season in the South, hurricane season, and we had all been stuck inside for a while. So the second it quit raining, we all ran out of there to go play together. And there was this old tree, and it had an old tree house in it. And it was, of course, fascinating to us because you want to make a fort out of everything at that age, and I was quite the monkey, and I could climb trees real quick. So I was beating everybody to the top. And of course, it was really old tree house, and there were a lot of bad angles and growth, underneath all the structure. And by the time I got to the top, I just remember saying, ta-da, and then all of a sudden went, woo, and I fell out 33 feet out of the top of that tree.
Wow.
Halfway down, I came out of my body, and I watched my body fall the rest of the way. And that's, it was like a movie. Now they have special effects that you could actually explain it better. Like, special effects, like when people are going in slow motion and you see a close-up. I mean, I saw a close-up of a nail go through the edge of my neck. I saw limbs breaking. I saw myself hit the ground. Wow. From probably, I guess, about 10 feet up. I saw myself hit the ground. And the ground was, saturated, which saved me. But, I mean, I was out. And from that point on,
and so
I was in another dimension. Yeah.
So when you were hovering over your body, you had sort of a bird's eye view. What, this 8-year-old little girl, your 8-year-old self, what were you thinking? What was going through your mind? Did you understand?
First off, time stops, okay? Time is just an earthly situation. So time stopped. And I immediately realized that I was an orb. I didn't know what that was. There goes Riley and Butters up to their
With chickens running around too.
but, yeah, they don't care. They don't care what I did. So anyway, I was an orb, but I told people because I had a little 8-year-old vocabulary that I was a bubble filled with Jello, and I immediately remembered all things. I mean, it was just like, why didn't I remember that? How did I forget that? And then I knew that it was because I was limited to this human bio robot or whatever,
Yeah.
And then I was looking at a couple of other different dimensions at the same time.
Wow.
I was heading towards light. I was, and I slowed down a minute because I was really heading towards this light. It was mesmerizing. It was like you just were a moth to a flame with this light. And I was heading there. And, but all these things I was realizing, all these things, all this information was coming to me, who I was, why I picked this planet, why I picked this, planet for this lifetime, why I picked the specific spot of the planet, the circumstances that I would be born into, the parents that I was born into. I picked my name. I knew my mission, and it was very important. I mean, all of this came back to me immediately, and I was like, why didn't I remember all that? Well, it's really a strange thing for an 8-year-old to be thinking. So it was definitely my soul. I was back with my soul. And then there were people that heard me hit the ground, and they thought that a car had hit a tree. They thought it was an auto accident. That's how loud it was when I hit. So neighbors were running out, and I was immediately engrossed in their caring. It wasn't their prayers as much as their thoughts. It was more the love for another human being, the caring and the love for another human being. And I knew that each of them, caring and running, were strong. Prayer is a strong thing, but more than one made it even more powerful to slow me down as I was heading to the light. And I turned around, and I could see all around at once, and there was no pain. I mean, it was just like I could see all around at once. There was no, we're limited to just these eyes right here, I mean, you can see all around. So I could see this, I mean, I was all over the place. And, but these people were running towards that, and that slowed me down. And then at the same time, I was heading towards the light, and there was somebody standing there, and they were telling me what the situation was, and giving me some information that I needed. And then my mother, 2 blocks, well, it was like a big neighborhood, so it wasn't really blocks, but it was about like 2 blocks away, found out that I'd fallen out of the tree. And when her foot stepped out the door onto the front porch, there was this huge reckoning that love is what makes this planet spin. It's what makes the stars hang in the sky. And it's the purpose of all of us. And a mother's love is the strongest love on the planet. I knew that immediately, and then I was right back down in my body.
Wow.
I was in severe pain. Holding my breath till I passed out. It was severe. I had serious spinal injuries. So I was lucky I landed on my back. And I think when I hit that branch, that did a little something. But yeah, I was pretty injured.
Wow. So when you were out of your body, you actually saw your mom stepping out to get you?
No, I knew it because I was all involved in all this other stuff going on. I mean, I was going through space and time, and there was at least a couple other dimensions going on.
But while you're in these dimensions, you had this sense that you can
do it all at once.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing.
So people that could be dead for a few seconds might have a huge experience in just those few seconds. You see what I'm saying? People in a coma, I've spoken to people, I've prayed with families over their loved ones in comas. They came back, some of them didn't remember a thing. Others had full-blown experiences. Some were hovering above and listening to their family pray
Yeah.
and trying harder to come back to them. You know, so that love and prayer, and I don't care how you call it, you know, but that feeling of love and caring. Oh, you guys be good. Stop it. That really matters. You know, when you're concerned about somebody, whether you say a prayer or not, that love and concern really does matter. Their soul knows it.
There's definitely power in prayer and the intention with the emotions. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, it's important. And like, you know, two or more makes it so much stronger. Like, you know, 1+1=5 is what I always say. It's like that. It's
Absolutely.
like that kind of quotient or ratio or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I felt like when my mom was sick, when she was diagnosed with cancer, when I kind of told everybody and everybody came together and we all prayed and we all kind of set the intention as a unit. I
right.
really feel like that had a lot to do with the fact that she survived.
Oh yeah, I've seen prayer just absolutely save people, but it was just no way they were going to make it, and prayer saved it. I'm a
So,
big believer in that. Yeah.
Sabrina, what would you say with your near death experience? Has it changed you at all,
Well,
spiritually?
it's been there's a yin and yang to it. Um, you know, first off, I was serious about my body. Can you tell me food, please? There was my body was damaged. You know, so it was difficult. I was in a lot of pain for a lot of years, and I went through a lot of treatments and therapies and you know that kind of thing. And that part was difficult. And then you know, my mother was Roman Catholic, and we had a bunch of nuns and priests in the house, you know, wanting to, because other things were happening too. Like I was saying things that, you know, now I realize I was channeling. At that time, I didn't know what was going on, and it was really blowing their minds. So there was a lot of, you know, rhetoric running around, and so that was kind of difficult. But as I grew and I've it made me very curious. It made me different. You know, I mean, I cared about the whole world. I cared about children starving on the other side of the planet. I cared about volcanoes and earthquakes. I cared about stopping for a minute and just watching that bee buzz on that flower. You know, I had a real sensitivity to life and death. Like I could tell when somebody was pregnant. I knew right when somebody had their baby. Um, I had dreams about mass death and you know things like that. So it was a joy and a curse at the same time. I had a problem with technology. I still do. If I get real excited or amped up, technology wigs out. I never could wear a watch. It didn't matter how expensive. I've been through a box of watches. My cars would wig out like, and the mechanics would say, it looks like it fried from the inside. I don't know how that, you know, so there's usually, if I'm really amped up, I have to learn to ground myself. I'm still not that good at it. I
Are you
have
great at
to,
it?
yeah, I'll get a little charged up and I'll go to the bank and they'll go, it's never done that before. And my kids used to laugh about that. You know, we'd be at the store, they go, I don't know what's going on. And the kids would go, it's never done that before. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just part of it. When I did talk to other people with MDEs, they'd say the same things. We'd laugh, but I was like, you know, it's just part of it. You're sensitive to things, and you have more of a, you're more aware of certain things that some people aren't aware of. You know, I think a gift of discernment comes with it. What you fussing about? Come here. Hey, Butters.
Hi, honey. Aw.
Oh, he's just, this is Butters. He's a lover.
That's great.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so, Sabrina, I just have one more question for you, just to sort of tie it up. And I think it'll help a lot of people or the folks out there listening. to anybody that's had an NDE, and perhaps if they're not really comfortable speaking on it, or they're having a difficult time going through it, is there any advice you have for people that are family that of NDEers and the NDEers themselves?
I'm sure there's more information out there on it nowadays than there were back then. I mean, and like I've said to many people, now with technology and science and medicine advanced as much as they have been, there's more people being pulled from the brink of death now than ever. People are being saved every day. So it's something we need to address. And I think children, there was a book that somebody sent me recently. I'll have to look it up for you. I haven't read it, but it was about how to handle children that have had near-death experiences. And so, but I've read Life After Life. It's an old book by Dr. Raymond Moody, and that helped me. But there's a lot of books about near-death experiences now, and I think there's more YouTube videos about people going through it. And, some people have a Christ experience, and like they were really whoever I was talking to. It came out in the hypnosis session later who it was, but people used to say, "You were talking to Jesus," and I was like, I didn't want to argue with them and say it wasn't Jesus because I didn't want to mess with their faith system, So it's real, like a sticky line here and there. So you have to believe that you know what you know, and not let anybody say it was a dream, because that means they're afraid. People are afraid of death, and it's inevitable. And it's, I'm not afraid of it. It's like taking a kid to the gates of Disney and telling them they had to go home.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not like tempting fate or anything, but, I'm not afraid of it. And when you're not wasting your time fearing death, you're going to live a little bit better, so.
That's right. Yeah. And I think a lot of NDEers do, I mean, everybody's situation and experience is unique, but one thing they always say is they feel like they're home, because they're connecting to the other side where their true soul can just be at one with the light. And a lot of them say, I want to go back,
I want to go home. You feel very homesick. I've been all over the world. And I was constantly, I found that I was like, I'm always looking for, where should I be living? Where's home? And, once I realized where home was, I said I can just relax. I know where I've lived in other lives, where I call home from other lives. But, that's a thing. And you feel, sometimes you feel very alone. And then sometimes you feel very blessed, but you feel a very strong, conviction that you have an important mission. You came back for a reason. You came back for a reason. They all talk about that. Everybody that I've met says, I know I came back for a reason. It was important for me to be here. So you just have this kind of attitude that maybe that smile I gave that person on the street today was why I'm here. You know what I mean? Or, I don't know, it's like you think, here's an opportunity to do something that might be the reason that I'm here. Yeah. And it's a good reason. So you go, well, where's all this mindfulness that people are talking about all the time? I've been doing that all my life. I mean, we should all be doing this. What are you talking about? I mean, have good manners, be kind to people. If somebody looks like they need a hand, give them a hand, I mean, if people were being grumpy, instead of going, ew, what a terrible person. I mean, why don't you go, you're having a hard day, baby. Oh, something, I mean, validate people, be nice to people, be as kind as you can, look for chances to help. And, that might be why you're here. It might not be save the world. It might be just kind to whoever the hell's around you, So,
yes. That's beautiful.
But, I think we all share that.
Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Sabrina. Was there any other message? That last message that you sort of gave to everybody, and
that's a little summary for today. We can always do more. Like I said, 3-beer story. We can do the second, third, or fourth beer if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Sabrina. That was great. Sabrina is also a hypnosis practitioner, so I'm going to link her information below. And she's also a very, very talented artist.
Oh,
Sabrina lived in Romania. I mean, you're right. This is the second beer, I think. But so her work is just beautiful. I've seen it. I've
well,
had
that's
the
great.
opportunity to see it, and it's just gorgeous. So I'll link her information below if you want to contact her and check out her work. But yeah, thank you so much, and
Thank you, dear. I love you.
love you so much. Take care. Bye, guys.
All right, bye.